Good morning, everyone. Today, now I'm going to the next section, that is chapter number 4, part 2. Okay. Last day, as you said, we have finished up to heterochromatin and euchromatin. That is regarding the package of DNA. Okay. So I want to go to the next slide. Now I start that. This is regarding the replication of DNA. Now you know very well about the DNA. Even in the last part, last slide, I gave some questions which were there in the textbook, or which are there in the textbook. What is nucleotide, nucleoside, and so on, so informations. But remember, you follow me what I say, children? You're following now? See, now all provisions are given. You can write yes, so, clap, everything is there in that. In the chat box is so easy for you. No need to type. Everything will come automatically over there. Some changes I made yesterday. Okay. So now what I'm asking, what I'm telling you that in your textbook, the contents which are given, it is in a very short form. It is in a summarized form. You should always study the basic things. Otherwise, you cannot understand. If I directly go to replication, you should know what is DNA, what is the structure of DNA, what are the different components there in the DNA. All these informations you should know. Otherwise, you cannot understand what is replication. So basically, what I do always, the basic points I always say in the beginning, and after that only I will go to the particular topic. In all topics, in all chapters, it is like that. Whether it is first chapter, second chapter, third chapter, fourth chapter, everywhere it is like that. So, earlier knowledge, that is what is called as a recall. Recall is very much important. Recall is not in one or two sentences. It is there in detail. The teacher has to explain. All the teachers must explain the recall. Otherwise, students cannot understand because you are studying everything there in continuous. Your knowledge is, increasing day by day. That means you have to recollect what you learned yesterday, and then only you can add the new knowledge today. So this is the way your textbook has been framed. If you are referring on CBSE textbook, you will get all the information there in textbook itself. But unfortunately, in Maharashtra syllabus is good. Syllabus is CBSE only, but the textbook content, I don't know why they have done like that. They cut short the content. So since they cut short the content, when a teacher teaching the topic, the teacher has to explain everything what you already learned and today what you are going to learn. So the explanation part is very important. That is why I'm taking so many lectures. For chapter number 1, I had taken 16 chapters. 16 lectures. 16, 1-6. Out of 116 lectures, 15 lectures were based on topics, and last lecture was just revision. 1 hour daily, 16 hours I took the class for chapter number 1 because we have studied in detail. I hope that you are very much, it is very thorough. The topic is very thorough right now. Similarly, this topic is also going on. I take time, but the topic will be taken in detail. So what I want to say now, we are going to study about replication of DNA. If you want to study the replication of DNA, you should know what is a DNA. Okay, what is a DNA? Come on, write there in the chat box. What is a DNA? Your knowledge. I'm just checking your knowledge. What is a DNA? Please write there in the chat box. Please use the chat box. Please use the chat box. It's not like Google Meet. No need to unmute yourself. Right there in the chat box only. Okay. Students, you are writing many answers. I'm happy with that. Somebody written 2.2 meter long. Okay, very good. Deoxyribonucleic acid, very good. Genetic material, very good. Okay. So different answers I'm getting. Well and good. That is your knowledge. I agree. Okay. But basic DNA structure. Now look at what is basic DNA structure. What is written over there? DNA is a polynucleotide. It may not be there in your textbook, remember, but you should know it. DNA is a polynucleotide. Poly means what? Many. Nucleotide means what? Yesterday, last class, I told you. The DNA is made up of, now look at this picture over here. Yeah, look at this picture over here. You see small compartments they are showing over here. This is nothing else. This is a nucleotide. This is a nucleotide, right? So this nucleotide, just imagine that one nucleotide you look at over here. There is a sugar over there. That is a main component, central component. To that, there is a phosphate attached. To the sugar, you know, there is a nitrogen base attached. So when these three components are there together, we call it as a nucleotide. When such many nucleotides attached end to end like this, you see many nucleotides are attached end to end. Can you count how many nucleotides over here? Write there in the chat box how many nucleotides are there in this picture. Yes. Yes. Okay. So six nucleotides are there here. I got the answer 6. That means you know it very well. So 6 nucleotides are there. Look at all these nucleotides are attached end to end. So when it is attached end to end, like that, many nucleotides are there in a DNA. Many nucleotides are there. Then we say it is a polynucleotide. So what is a polynucleotide? It is a polymer of nucleotides. When large number of nucleotides placed end to end, what you can get? You can get a DNA. Okay? When large number of nucleotides are placed end to end, okay, it is a polynucleotide. Okay, now you see this area. What is a nucleotide? I already told you that. What is a nucleotide? What is a nucleotide? Look at here. This is what is called sugar. What kind of sugar it is? Okay, what kind of sugar it is? It is called a pentose sugar. I have written there. So it is called pentose sugar or called deoxyribose sugar. Now in this pentose sugar, you can notice that 5 carbons are there. This is carbon number 1. This is carbon number 2. This is carbon number 3. This is carbon number 4. And this is carbon number 5. So total 5 carbons are there in the pentose sugar. Then there is a phosphate group. Then there is a nitrogen base. So when these 3 components becomes, you get a nucleotide. Is it clear? What is a nucleoside? Is it clear? Please use the chat box. Yes. No need to write the write over there. You just see the button over there. Button is there. Yes, button is there. No button is there. All the different types of buttons are there. You can click over there. Okay. Then now you come to this area. What it says then, these are the different types of nitrogen bases. Basically, how many types of nitrogen bases are there? The types of nitrogen bases. Okay. So how many types of nitrogen bases are there? Basically, 2 types of nitrogen bases are there. One is called purines and the other one is called pyrimidines. Purines and pyrimidines. Now, if you look at purines, देखिए ये दोनों purines है. इसका नाम क्या लिखा है इधर? फर्स्ट लेटर लिखो उधर प्लीज. चैट बॉक्स में फर्स्ट लेटर लिखो. इधर क्या लिखा है? G and A means purines are adenine and guanine. At the same time, इधर देखिए pyrimidines. दूसरा नाइट्रोजन बेस है, दूसरा टाइप है pyrimidines, and these pyrimidines we can say
they are of 3 types altogether: cytosine, thymine, and uracil. So these are the 3 different types of purines. I'm sorry, pyrimidines. Now see the difference between purines and pyrimidines. Every time we are saying there are 4 different types of nitrogen bases: adenine, guanine, cytosine, thymine, like that. But there is a major difference between purines and pyrimidines. What is the major difference between purines and pyrimidines? In purine, you see how many rings are there? How many rings are there in purine? अब ये देखिए, ये देखिए, ये दोनों में ऑब्जर्व करें तो you can see how many rings are there. Yeah, it is 2 rings. That means you can notice that it is 2. Whereas you come to pyrimidine, how many are there? Only. How many in pyrimidines? Only 1. So this is the major difference. In purines, we can say there is a double ring. In pyrimidines, we can notice that there is only 1 ring. So this is the main difference, and you should know that which are the purines and which are the pyrimidines. So adenine and guanine, they are purines, and cytosine and thymine and uracil, these are the pyrimidines. But remember, all these 5 nitrogen bases you cannot see there in DNA. In DNA, you can see that 1 is missing. Can you say which one is missing in DNA out of these 5 I have shown over here? Yes, very good. Uracil is not there in DNA. So now I hope that you understood the structure of DNA, the components of DNA. Now look at here, what is the difference between nucleoside and nucleotide? Now what is the difference between nucleoside and nucleotide? It's very simple. Now just look at this chemical formula. So nucleoside means a sugar base, that is nitrogen base and sugar. This is the sugar plus 1 nitrogen base. So this is what is called a nucleoside. Now you see this is nucleoside. To this nucleoside, there is a third component attached. Which is the third component attached here? To this nucleoside, yeah, very good. A third component, that is phosphate, is attached. So the moment you attach a phosphate to this nucleoside becomes nucleotide. So you got the difference between nucleoside and nucleotide now? Nucleoside and nucleotide, clear? Nucleoside contains how many components? Nucleoside. Two. Nucleotide contains nucleoside plus phosphorus. That is 3 components. Now you see, this is the structure of the DNA. Now here you look at here, in which direction the DNA is taking the twist. अब इधर देखिए, the DNA is taking twist in which direction? It is the twisting in clockwise direction. That is why it is called right-handed. Now in this DNA, you see there are 2 strands like this. These 2 strands are known as the backbone. Which is the backbone? Sugar and phosphate. This is the backbone of the DNA. Already we have seen once before. And these 2 strands are held in position because of the presence of these components. What is this? This is the base pair. Base pairing is also peculiar. Always a purine pair with the pyrimidine, or a pyrimidine will pair with the purine. And there also it is again specific. When adenine is the nitrogen base, the opposite strand will be, opposite nitrogen base will be thymine. If guanine is the nitrogen base, the opposite nitrogen base will be cytosine. So to remember, we use a term like this, ATGC pairing. Are you getting me? That is called ATGC pairing. So what kind of pairing we say? Always you have to remember that. AT, then what is the next one? GC pairing. Very good. So ATGC pairing we say. Now look at, we come to the topic. So far we have seen That was the recall of our knowledge. Recall of our knowledge. We have seen the chemical components of DNA. We have seen the structure of DNA. Now we come to the replication of DNA. This is the actual topic. Okay. So before we enter into this topic, we will go for one important work. Okay. Okay. Now, what is DNA replication? Now look at here. DNA, we can say, that is the most important component, the basic component, the biomolecule there in the cell. Because this is the one which regulates and controls the activities of the cell. Because DNA is regulating and controlling all the activities of the cell, means DNA will decide what kind of character you have to produce, what type of proteins to be produced. So all these informations written there in the DNA. So we can say DNA is regulating and controlling all the activities of the cell. Okay. Now you see that DNA that is performing two types of functions, are two basic functions. One function is done heterocatalytic. Heterocatalytic. One is called heterocatalytic and second is done autocatalytic. Heterocatalytic and autocatalytic. Now, what is heterocatalytic? Heterocatalytic means Vishal, I think the problem is with you there, because when I check, you see, I can hear the voice over here and this is not cracking. I think maybe your network issue over there. Okay, just check there. And heterocatalytic means direct synthesis of chemical molecules than itself. Means DNA is involved in synthesis of some other molecules that you already know. From the DNA you get RNA. So synthesizing of RNA is one function of DNA, and RNA is not DNA. This is some other molecule, and this process is called transcription. So it comes under heterocatalytic. That means DNA synthesizing a chemical molecule which is not at all DNA, that is another molecule. That is called heterocatalytic. Now, when the DNA synthesizing RNA, this RNA carries some informations for the synthesis of protein. So the actual synthesizing of protein is taking place based on the blueprint written there on DNA. So in DNA, what is written, how the DNA protein has to be synthesized, what kind of protein it must be, what is the sequence, all informations are there in written DNA. So according to the information which is written there in the DNA, the RNA synthesizing the protein. So synthesis of protein is also a function of the DNA. That we can say translation. So these two are coming under heterocatalytic. Okay, what I said, what is the name of this function? What is the name of the function? DNA performing two functions. One I said synthesis of RNA and protein. What is that? Heterocatalytic. Very good. That is called a heterocatalytic. Now second is that autocatalytic. Auto means what? Auto means what? Self. Now you see what is autocatalytic? Direct synthesis of DNA. So direct synthesis of DNA, that is replication. One DNA that divides and two DNAs are formed. That is called autocatalytic. So DNA altogether performing two functions. One is synthesizing other chemicals, other chemical molecules, and second is that synthesizing DNA itself. Okay, that is heterocatalytic and autocatalyte. Now, now when the DNA will duplicate, when the DNA will replicate, you know, cell division. Cell division, you know. Here I am showing you one picture. This picture indicates cell cycle. Okay, you have studied mitosis, meiosis last year. You know that the sum total of all the reactions, all the activities from the end of one division to the end of next division, or from the beginning of one division to the beginning of next division, is called cell cycle. In this cell cycle, you can see 4 stages are there. One is the M phase, second is G1, S, and G2. M phase means the actual cell dividing stage. There the M phase is again divided as prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase, cytokinesis, like that. Similarly, the other 3 stages, what is this? G1, that is gap 1. This is synthetic phase. This is gap 2. And what do you call all these 3 phases together? What do you call all these 3 phases together? G1, G2, and S. What do you call it together? There is one name for that. All these 3 phases together, we call what? Very good. The name is that interphase. In interphase, there is a middle stage. Interphase means G1, S, and G2. This is the sequence. In these 3 phases, the middle phase, that is S phase. S phase is known as the synthetic phase. During this phase, what is happening? The DNA is replicated. So replication of DNA, duplication of DNA taking place during the S phase of interphase. When it happens, please write there in the chat box. When it happens, the DNA replication takes place in which phase? S phase. Very good. So in S phase, the replication is taking place. Now you can see that in DNA, the duplication is taking place there in a specific manner. There is a particular manner for that. That is called semi-conservative mode of replication. So that is what is called semi-conservative mode of replication. What is this semi? Semi means half. So in DNA replication, you can see one thing, that the half of the DNA is always conserved. That means when one DNA divides, you get 2 DNAs. In each DNA, 50% of the DNA will be of its parents. Okay, that means the parental strand. So, so it is called as semi-conservative. It is called a semi-conservative mode of replication. Now you see what is the meaning of semi-conservative. This is the DNA. When this DNA divides, you get 2 DNAs like this. How many DNAs you are getting here? How many DNAs from this one DNA? 2 DNA you are getting. Now you see this DNA strand's color is, look at the color of the strand. What is its color? What is its color? What is the color of this one? I'm talking about this one. This strand. This is green. Now when this DNA divides, you get 2 strands over here, right? And now each strand you look at there. How many green strands are there? Here how many are there? 1. Here how many are there? 1. At the same time, one new strand is synthesized, that is red colored. So one strand is red colored, one strand is green. Here also same. That means this green colored strand is coming from this. This is the parent strand. That means one strand is always preserved or conserved. Here also one strand is conserved. So one strand, two strands are there total. Out of those two strands, one strand belongs to parental or parent. That is conserved. So that is why it is called semi-conservative model of replication. And who proposed it? Look at the name of the scientist. Remember that red one is new. Red one is newly synthesized. That we will see now. Red one is new strand. Okay. And now you see who proposed it. The name of the scientist is Dan, Watson and Crick. For this proposal, because Watson and Crick proposed the model of DNA, for which they awarded the Nobel Prize also. They got the Nobel Prize for that. Okay. Now we are going to see about the replication of DNA process. ये आपको examination को very important है आने वाला part. Essay type question है. Even small questions also you can expect from here. Now we come to the process of DNA replication. DNA replication process. Now, if you look at the DNA replication process, the process is having certain steps. Altogether, I can tell you 7 steps are there. Step number 1 is there on your screen. What is the first word of step number 1? Just write the word over there. A. That means activation of nucleotides. The first step in replication is that activation of nucleotides. So in detail, we will see it later. I'm just telling you that what are the steps. Okay. The step number 1 is okay. Activation of nucleotides. Now look at step number 2. After the nucleotides are getting activated or simultaneously, it will come to the second point, that is point of origin. इधर picture देखा तो भी आपको idea मिल जाएगा. Okay, इधर देखा तो you see that is in the form of a DNA. And in this case, we can notice that some kind of bifurcation you can see there. So here, the strands starting its duplication, starting its replication, that is called the point of origin or initiation point. Number 3, once this point of origin developed over there, then what happens? Both the strands of the DNA getting separated. And this separation of the strands we call unwinding of DNA molecule. ये actually आपको explain करने का main point है. ये main point आपका onwards में explain करना है. Okay, मैंने बोला पहला point activation of nucleotides. Then the point of origin or insertion point is developing on DNA. Then the DNA molecule is getting unwinded. Unwinding means that is getting separated. Now a replication fork is developed over here. So when the DNA is getting separated like this, in the 4th point, you will see that a particular shape over there that is called a replication fork. Okay. Now, the 5th point is that synthesis of new strands. Once the replication fork is formed, you can see that the newly synthesizing strands you can see over there. So, 5th point is synthesis of new strands. Now, when you observe the synthesizing strands, you can see that there are 2 types of strands over there, which are synthesizing in opposite direction, which are totally in a new pattern. And these strands, newly synthesizing strands, we say leading strand and lagging strand. अभी हम लोग डिटेल में देखेंगे, मैं पॉइंट्स आपको बोल के जा रहे. Okay, so leading strand and lagging strand. So when you observe this leading strand and lagging strand, in the lagging strand, you can see some small fragments. And this is not coming under any point. That is why I'm not giving any number over here. And on the lagging strand, you can see certain fragments, and these fragments we call Okazaki fragments. Okay. And at the end, last point, at the end, you can see that one DNA has become 2 DNA. So one DNA, now the parent DNA is disappeared. And instead of one parent DNA, you get two DNA molecules. And these DNA molecules are not parent strand now. That is no more. These two strands, new strands, we say daughter DNA molecule. So these are the 7 steps. Okay. And now look at the first step. The first step is that activation of nucleotides. What does it mean? It means, now look at them. The DNA is there in the nucleus. So in the nucleoplasm, inside the nucleus or in the nucleoplasm, there are large number of nucleotides. Large number of nucleotides. Basically, how many types of nucleotides are there? Please write down in the chat box. How many types of nucleotides? Yeah, very good. 4 types of nucleotides are there. That is adenine nucleotide, guanine nucleotide, cytosine nucleotide, and thymine nucleotide. Okay, adenine nucleotide, guanine nucleotide, cytosine nucleotide, and thymine nucleotide. Normal way, these nucleotides are in the form of monophosphate. That is deoxyribose adenine monophosphate, deoxyribose guanine monophosphate, deoxyribose cytosine monophosphate. So deoxyribose thymine monophosphate. So all these are in the form of monophosphate and lying there in the cytoplasm. Sorry, nucleoplasm. So where it lies, where these nucleotides are lying, where it is lying, where all these nucleotides are there in the cell. Any idea? Yeah, it is there in the nucleoplasm. Now what is happening? All these nucleotides are getting activated. All these nucleotides are getting activated. How it gets activated? For that, all these nucleotides are getting activated. For that, what happens, you know? These nucleotides are reacting with the ATP and phosphorylation. That means simple, we can say all these are undergoing phosphorylation. All these nucleotides are undergoing phosphorylation. Phosphorylation means what? Addition of inorganic phosphate to monophosphate, right? Yeah, diphosphate. So here ATP is required, energy is required, and by using energy, the inorganic phosphate is added to this in the presence of enzyme phosphorylase. Okay, in the presence of enzyme phosphorylase, ATP molecules are utilized and phosphate is getting added to this. So when phosphate is getting added to this, this monophosphate will become, look at here. Monophosphate becomes what? Here, this is monophosphate, M, mono, single phosphate. Now it has become, what type of phosphate is written here? Look at here properly. Yeah, it is called a triphosphate. Okay. So this is called, this process is called, that means the monophosphate, deoxyribose, adenine monophosphate or guanine monophosphate or cytosine monophosphate or tyrosine monophosphate, whatever it is, that is getting energized, that is becoming triphosphates. And this process we can say activation of nucleotides. Got the point clearly? So what is the first step there? Activation of nucleotides. That means AMP becomes ATP. AMP becomes ATP. GMP becomes GTP. CMP becomes CTP. TMP becomes TTP. Okay? Triphosphate. Got it clearly? This point, step number 1 is clear to you? Yes or no? Step number 1 is clear? Yeah, step number 1 is clear. Okay, step number 1 is clear. Now we go to step number 2. What is step number 2? Step number 2 means point of origin or initiation point. Point number 2 is that point of origin or point of initiation point. What is that? You just look at this. This is the DNA. Now in this DNA, now you see this DNA is there in a paired condition. Now you see this is the DNA. On this DNA, here and there, so this kind of replication points are originating. Now you look at there, how many points you're originating here? How many you observe here? How many points you're observing over here? Three, not pair, three. Okay, not in pair, it is three. So 3 points originated here. Now look at here. On DNA, DNA is a long molecule and DNA is always double stranded. Now what happens then, at here and there, the strands are getting separated. Now you see the strands are getting separated. And this separation is taking place because of the enzyme endonuclease. Because of the enzyme endonuclease on the DNA, you can see that here and there, some kind of separation takes place. This is what is called origin. This is the origin, point of origin or initiation point. अगर ये दोनों स्ट्रैंड सेपरेट नहीं हुआ तो नया स्ट्रैंड डेवलप करने को नहीं होगा. सो ये स्ट्रैंड का सेपरेशन होता है. कहां ये सेपरेशन होता है? दैट इज व्हाट इज कॉल्ड पॉइंट ऑफ ओरिजिन. लेकिन याद रखना, डीएनए एक लॉन्ग मॉलिक्यूल है. अभी अपना ह्यूमन बीइंग का डीएनए का लेंथ क्या है? ह्यूमन डीएनए का लेंथ क्या है? Human DNA length 2.2 meter. So such a long DNA, and on this DNA, you can see that at many locations, you can see the origin. At the point of origin, you can see at many locations on the DNA. अभी ये पिक्चर में आपको दिखाता हूं मैं 3, लेकिन आप ऐसा नहीं सोचने का है या एक डीएनए में 3 होता है. नहीं, it can be 5, it can be 10, it can be 15, depends. But we can say there are multiple origins of replication. There are multiple origins of replications. So point number 2 is clear. Point number 2 is clear. Can I go to next slide? Okay. Now look at next one. Again, one more picture is coming over there. So how the DNA is getting separated. Now look at here. This is one origin. अभी एक origin मैं आपको enlarge करके दिखाता हूं. So this is the original DNA strand. This original DNA strand is getting separated. Okay, these original DNA strands are got separated, but when the strands are getting separated, you can see that some important processing taking place over there, and then the new DNAs are formed over there. Okay, that we will see that in the coming part. Now I'm going to the next slide. Now, what is the third point? The third point is that unwinding of DNA molecule. Unwinding of DNA molecule. Now look at this picture. Now you see, this is the original DNA. And this original DNA is getting separated. That is what we have seen, the origin there. And then there is an enzyme. There is an enzyme. What is the name of this enzyme? In the last slide, I told you one enzyme. You remember the name of the enzyme? Various enzymes are there. You should remember the name. What was the name? I said, what was the name of that enzyme? The last slide, previous slide, endonuclease. Now, there is another enzyme that is called DNA helicase enzyme. And this DNA enzyme, what they will do one important role. What is this structure? मैं जो मेरा लेसर आप थोड़ा ऑब्जर्व करना. So what is this point? This structure क्या है? What is this? This is a nucleotide, a nitrogen base we can say. Okay, this is a nitrogen base. ये भी nitrogen base है. So both the nitrogen bases are held in position. For example, if this is adenine, then it is thymine. If it is guanine, it is cytosine. So these two are nitrogen bases, but these two nitrogen bases are in pair because of this chemical bond. Here there is a hydrogen bond, yeah, chemical bond. So we have come to the third point, that is unwinding of DNA molecule. So in unwinding of DNA molecule, what we have seen, so an enzyme called DNA helicase And this DNA helicase is breaking the chemical bond which is there between the nitrogen bases. As a result of that, what will happen? Both the strands are getting separated. And this separation of both the strand, because of breaking these hydrogen bonds by the action of DNA helicase, is called unwinding of DNA molecule. Got it point clearly now? Getting me clearly? Yes. Now you see, when these two strands are getting separated, you may have a confusion, that doubt that again these two strands come together. Now, for example, this is the DNA helicase enzyme. It is going ahead. So when it is going ahead, again these two strands are there in open condition. They can come together and they can become pair. So that pairing never takes place. Why that pairing will not take place? Because there is a special type of protein over there, and this protein called SSBP, that will prevent this recoiling. Now you just see here. Okay. Now you see this unwinding takes place. So whenever unwinding taking place, this kind of protein, this is the protein, will come and sit over here. And because of the presence of this protein, that is single-stranded binding protein, this single-stranded binding protein will come and sit over here. And so these two strands cannot pair again. So the pairing is stopped because of the presence of this protein molecule. Okay, SSBP prevents uncoiling. Now look at this picture. Now you see the enzyme is here. Now you see the enzyme is coming, acting over here, and this is the polymerase enzyme. Now what happens? The ligase enzyme is breaking it. Now you see the hydrogen bonds are broken. Now both the strands are got separated. But once these two strands got separated, it never comes back, never pair again, because of the presence of this SSBP. Okay. Now you see this point. This is very clear. Now you see these are the two strands, and because of the action of this enzyme, this is a helicase enzyme. Now you see it is going to unwind. Okay, the unwinding is taking place. Can you see? That is single strand. SSBP means single-stranded binding protein. Single-stranded binding protein. Now, once these two strands got separated, immediately this protein will sit over there, and it will never again pair. Okay. So this way both the strands are getting separated. So this process is called unwinding of DNA molecule. Now look at next slide. Next is called replication fork. Okay, what is this? Replication fork. Replication fork means when these two strands got separated like this. While it was like this, but this strand and this strand got separated. So when these two strands got separated, there an enzyme will come and sit over there, and this enzyme is moving in this direction, and this unwinding is taking place. At the same time, new strands are synthesizing. All these processes are going on simultaneously. You don't think that once one step is over, then second step will start. No, nothing like that. Unwinding taking place one side, new strand is synthesizing on other side. All these things are going on simultaneously. So both the strands are got separated. New strands are synthesizing there. This is going on simultaneously. So here a Y-shaped appearance you are getting there. At this point you get a Y look. Okay, the capital Y look. Look at here. A Y-shaped look you are getting, and this is called a replication fork. You got the point clearly now? This is called replication fork. Okay, are you getting me? This is clear to you? So what is this area? This area is called as replication fork because it gets the shape of Y. Okay, two strands appear like Y-shaped fork called a replication fork. Okay, so far we have completed 4 steps. And what 4 steps we have seen that we are going to review. Yes, slide में आपको एक review में दे रहे. Okay, I'm going to give you a review of this and then I will stop it. Okay, so what is the review? Look at them. Number 1, activation of nucleotides. Okay, number 2, what is number 2? Origin, point of origin. And number 3, it is unwinding. So in review points, number 1, activation of nucleotides. Number 2, point of origin. Number 3, that is unwinding. And number 4, the formation of replication fork. So today we have seen up to here. The remaining part we will see tomorrow. And the theoretical part also you see I've shown over here. You just look at there. Origin of replication. The DNA replication starts at a point called origin. This is the point of origin. Then a unit of replication with the one origin is called replicon. ये मैंने आपको बताया नहीं था. अगर एक DNA है, खाली उसमें एक ही origin है, then it is called means that replication part is called replicon. This is one replicon. During replication, 2 strands unwind, separated by breaking the hydrogen bonds in presence of enzyme. I told you the name of the enzyme. Remember, इसका पहले हमने एक enzyme का नाम पढ़ा था. That is called a endonuclease enzyme. Similarly, another enzyme called a helicase. Then synthesizing new strands that we will see there in the next session. So